Welcome to Let's Talk with Teresa Ann. I am your host and so grateful you're joining me on today's Motivational Monday. So on today's episode, it is definitely flipping the script and you'll know what I mean in just a moment. So here is what's coming up next on today's Motivational Monday.
Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Talk with Teresa Ann. You may be wondering, you're not Teresa Ann. Who are you, little imposter? Well, I'm glad you asked. My name's Paris and I am Teresa Ann's beloved daughter. So we're going to do something a little different today. I'm going to man the show. She does not know this, but hello, here we are. On Mom's show, on Teresa Ann, on Let's Talk with Teresa Ann's show, it's always about flipping the script. So we're flipping the script for
sure.
And I am going to ask my mom some questions.
Oh Lord, seriously, this has not been planned.
So,
okay.
Without further ado, let's get started. It's to be a short answer.
All right, it'll be a short answer. Help me, Lord.
Okay. First question. When was the turning point of, because you grew up in a Christian household, ran away from the Lord and things happened, but what was the turning point? What was the encounter that made you say, I have to have this life with Christ?
There was an initial encounter first before the actual encounter.
Okay.
And it was you.
Oh, wow.
You were 2 years old. Might cry. You were 2 years old and your mom was in a situation where I remember thinking in this moment that was taking place, I had a flashback of my life as a little girl. And I thought, oh my gosh, my daughter is not going to have what I had. And it woke me up.
Wow.
Out of my immaturity, out of my selfishness. And I remember in that moment when that situation was actually unfolding, I said no. And I remember going into your room, picking you up, taking you downstairs into the kitchen and holding you and not knowing what to do next. Like, what the heck? What's happening? I forgot to tell this one part. Grandpa gave me a ring that he made a ring for each of me and my sisters. And in that he had flown out, him and Grandma had flown out to give me the ring and said, every time you see it, I want you to pray over me. And that was in the time when I was not at all walking with God. And I thought, I'm not going to pray for you. But that was the prelude to the encounter, because 5 months later,
it was like those seeds were being planted throughout.
Seeds were being planted. Yes. So there was an awakening that took place. Then another awakening. It was almost like a prophetic.
It's like you needed those steps to be able to finally say, this is it.
Yeah. And then the moment after, 5 months after the ring, is when I woke up at 6 a.m. to a touch on my shoulder. And when I looked, there was no one there. And that was when I was led to my office.
Yeah.
Grabbed a journal I had bought the day before. I'd never written before. I didn't like writing. Sat down in front of the futon, started writing praises to God. And that was the moment Jesus encountered my life. And I've never been the same.
It's crazy.
That was March 6, 2003.
And now you're a writer.
Yeah. I love writing.
The very thing that you hated is something that the Lord said, you may hate it, but I'm going to give you this as a gift.
Absolutely.
To write his
I love that you asked that.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I know it, but it's so good to hear it again because it's always like a new revelation. I think also for you when you speak it out, it's something.
It is.
It's a remembrance.
It's a reminder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it kind of goes along the lines of March of 2009 is when I started my blog called Triumphant Victorious Reminders.
So funny. March is such a big moment, a big month for you.
It is.
Not only because it's my birthday.
Yes.
When you started Let's Talk, what was the reason for starting it?
That's
because
a really good question.
I'm sure some people may know bits and pieces because I know you share
every
so often. But like, what's the backstory of Let's Talk?
Love that you're asking these questions. Okay, so in oh gosh, I want to say like in 2009, I'd gotten a phone call after, maybe it was 2010. I'd gotten a phone call from a reader of Triumphant Victorious Reminders that really encouraged me to start a TV show, doing what I do, but in television.
Production, yeah.
And so, but it was going to cost so much to be on. They weren't offering me a show. It was like, hey, we can offer you
Got it.
like a studio, and this is what it'll cost. You can get sponsorship, blah, blah, blah. But I was really excited because years prior to that, I always wanted a talk show. Always.
So funny.
Like years. I remember I loved the Phil Donahue microphone. It was this long microphone, really skinny. And I loved how Oprah like gathered people in her studio. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to do that. And so really, I remember even writing about it in my blog about, oh my gosh, this is really exciting. This could happen. But then never really thought about it again.
Wow.
And then I guess I just thought it was just too profound to even think of it in a simple format. So it never, but it was a seed planted in me.
You didn't think it was really achievable
Right.
to do it in an in-home studio.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then in 2000, I want to say 16,
Okay.
just some really close friends, Carissa, and I had met this lady, Terry Ingram, who's now a close friend of mine, Christine and Amanda, who are sisters.
Yeah.
They all said on separate occasions, I could so see you hosting a TV show. And they just they had really no idea what my dream was.
Yeah.
Especially Terry Ingram.
Yeah.
She didn't have any idea. And she, if you don't know who she is the founder of Be Lydia.
Yeah.
So, kind of things went from there, and then I just said, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I can do this, and just started videotaping and started a YouTube channel. Talked to my branding ambassador, Selena.
Yeah.
She
Did everything.
took it from there.
Yeah.
I really noticed that in your dream, you've got to surround yourself with those who will support you and celebrate
Like-minded
you.
people,
Like-minded people. And I knew that I couldn't see even where I was at as small.
Yeah.
I had to see it as huge.
Yeah.
Because even though the steps seem small, it's that like the slight edge principle where you just do one little thing at a time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you have built something beautiful. So yeah, with that said, that's really when it started. It was years ago. It was a little seed planted, but again, it didn't seem achievable. But now when I started Let's Talk with Teresa Ann, I started it, in September of 2016. And
Wow, that's
September of
crazy.
2016 in my little living room. And then I thought, wait a second.
I remember that day.
Yeah. I even remember thinking, how many women are out there that are not well known, but are so
Extraordinary,
amazing?
yeah.
I want to interview those people. I want them to have a platform. I want them to have a voice. I want them to be able to share their testimonies of God. Those things that seem ordinary, they're not ordinary people.
Yeah.
They have extraordinary stories of God. And so the show was really to make sure it was an arrow to point everyone back to the Father. So that's why I just won't interview anybody. I want to interview people that really, really have these God stories.
I think two things, and I'll let you go.
Okay.
Two things I think is really cool about it is, people always ask with companies, what sets you apart from this company when you do the same thing? So, we have so many talk shows, so many podcasts, so many bloggers, but what sets you apart from the rest? Because anybody can do a fashion blog, anybody can do a beauty lifestyle, anybody can do, a Christian blog, mom post, anybody can do it, but what sets you apart? And I think what's amazing is to look and spread it out, all of the talk shows, everyone, even though they're doing amazing jobs, yours is really set apart. And I'm not saying that just because you're my mom, but I'm saying it because I really do see that. And so it's crazy how people interview famous people. It's just a given. It's just an expectation, and people watch it because it's the famous person. But for you, you're like, anybody can be well known.
Yeah.
These people, even the famous people, can be well known. Like, can be ordinary people too. You know, they
Yeah.
were. And so I think it's really cool to see that it's such a different dynamic.
Yeah.
It's such a different way of
Absolutely.
interviewing. And then you're like, wow, these people are actually amazing.
Amazing
People you pass by the grocery store.
I know.
People you know, are waiting in line to buy stuff, you know, all that. It's just we don't know who we're next to.
Yeah,
and
no
taking the
idea.
time, I think, is really, really inspiring. So first off, keep doing it.
Okay.
Keep going for it.
Thank you.
I think what's really cool is to see a dream turning into reality.
Yes.
Even if it's not the reality you're dreaming about,
Yeah.
it's still reality. Because
Yeah.
we're touching it. It's tangible. We're seeing it. Studio lights are shining in our eyes.
Yeah.
Like, this is real. And so I think it's really, really cool. So never think that what you're doing is small.
Yeah,
Because it
amen.
really does mean a lot to people. And that's also something to say to you, whoever's out there and who's
that's good.
dreaming and who's wanting to start their own company or wanting to have their own talk show or podcast or YouTube
Yeah.
channel, blog, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Keep pushing it forward. You may not see the views coming in. You may not see,
That's good.
you know,
The
the moolah.
subscribers.
You may not see the
Yeah.
sponsorships. Not yet, anyways.
Yeah.
But if you're really passionate about it and you really love it, you don't care about any of that.
That's
and that's
right.
the thing with you. You have let your passion drive you.
Yes.
And so let your passion drive you. Don't let moolah, don't let numbers, don't let any of that affect the way you think
That's right.
about your dream. So
yeah, because if it's
And
about
with
the
that-
number, I love that. Thank you so much. Because what I love about what you're saying is if it's about the money, if it's about the views, if it's about the subscribers, then you're not doing it for the right reason.
Right.
And when those things aren't happening, you can quit at the drop of a hat.
and people don't feel
Yeah.
that passion.
That's right.
And that love. So thank you guys so much for watching Let's Talk with Teresa Ann. And remember, this show is to
It's about bold inspiration, revealing
Revealing
God's
God's
goodness. Woo! Wow, that was awesome.
remember to like, subscribe, comment, even though we just talked about this. But like, subscribe, comment, and we will see you next time.